What up, though, people? This is the Lions Roar vlog. We are on the first book of Adam and Eve, book one of two. We are on chapter 28 of that book. You can catch up to where I am. Everything's posted on my page. The playlist is posted with all of the videos in order, including an introduction. So if you've never heard of this particular book and these particular scriptures here, you're in for a treat. Go ahead and listen to that introduction and then listen to where we are up to this point. Let's go ahead and jump into chapter 28. The devil pretends to lead Adam and Eve to the water to bathe. But when the wily Satan saw them, or when the darkened one saw them, okay, when the crafty, ever shifting, ever planning, ever trying to get them, that's what that means, wildly Satan, the wildly darkened. And please understand, Satan was not this being's name per se. Satan, Lucifer, devil, those are just labels, okay? Adam and Eve, labels. God, Lord, labels. Understand, okay? Now we're dealing with the beings who we're dealing with, so we understand what those labels implies in English, but that's just for you to know, okay? But when the wily Satan saw them, that they were going to the garden, he gathered together his host and came in appearance upon a cloud, intent on deceiving them. I wonder if him gathering his host means that he uses the energy that he could use to do what he did. You know, he gets his molecules up for him to be able to go being a deceptive spirit and a deceptive energy. Okay. So it's very interesting there. Okay. Always gathering the host, but then all of a sudden appearing in a form. The host ain't there anymore. So why gathering the host? Well, probably because pulling the atoms, protons, electrons, neutrons, and the molecules and the energy that it needs to be able to do what it's doing by getting them active. Understand? Anyway, let's keep going. And came in appearance upon a cloud, intent on deceiving them. But when Adam and Eve saw him thus in a vision, like a vision state. So here's something else that's very interesting. Like I told you in the last video, as we read, certain things are going to continue to be revealed, so you got to keep showing up. But when Adam and Eve saw him thus in a vision, like in a vision state. So even there, that kind of confirms what I was saying in the last video. Was this all mental? Are these things happening with such a because maybe like when Lucifer enacts what he's doing, maybe there's such a spiritual or an energetic or a mental impact that perhaps they fall into a vision state or a dream state, or they get hit with great heaviness, or there's a deception that causes them to think something is not what it is. Or also, like, one of my theories is that the state of being that they were in before they became fully human, Homo erectus, I believe they were in a water state, enabled to be able to exist in water. And you have to know that some of these aquatic animals, they can mimic patterns. They can make themselves look like something totally different than what they are. And if you don't know the difference, and I mean they can mimic textures and everything, change the rigidity of their skin. So I'm just saying in general, those are just basic, and they ain't basic animals because they complex in everything that they do. But I'm just saying that's just an animal. Okay, so we could very well be dealing with the spiritual energy that can shape shift or can tap into a form and have that form and control it, like a parasite, if you will. Could even be dealing with that physically, because when you start dealing with parasites in science and you start dealing with certain parasites, they say have been there since the beginning of humankind. But why would that? How could that be? Maybe something put it there. It wasn't supposed to be there. Like what we talk about in the beginning with Adam and Eve. Why does the Spirit of the Most High make reference to the seed that Eve has and the seed that the serpent has, but the seed is spit upon earth by the man. It is. Now, it comes to earth through the woman. It grows within the woman's egg. It needs her egg. In fact, it is attracted to her egg because that's where it's going to move into the next part of what it becomes. But the very beginning of it is coming down through the man. So why didn't he talk to Lucifer and Adam? Those are the things you have to think about when we talk about these types of things. But if you deal with it from the angle of letting people trick you into thinking that it's ungodly to attempt to understand and break these things down and know what we have going on, so we're not being tricked by lying, deceitful, cunning, manipulative men, you're gonna miss it. But let's hurry up and keep moving, because I want to make these videos shorter. I'm experimenting with making these videos shorter, so let's keep moving. Okay. So, but when Adam and Eve saw him thus in a vision, okay, so even in this state, even it wasn't physical. It's saying here that they saw them and they saw this in a vision, or like in a sort of a spiritual sort of a state, if you understand, okay? They thought they were angels of the Most High come to comfort them about their having left the garden, or to bring them back again into it. So Adam and Eve are still kind of confused about this whole thing, that like they're not getting back to the garden. And even if they're not confused, maybe they think in their head, is our time up? The Spirit has already indicated to them and told them, y'all got to walk this thing out. We've already read that. We've read it already in our readings up to this point. But let's keep going. Let's keep listening and see what it says. And Adam spread his hands unto the Most High God, begging him, or beseeching him, it says, but that means begging him, to make him understand what they were, these beings, this vision, okay? Then Satan, the hater of all good, said unto Adam, O Adam, I am an angel of the great God, of the great, the highest one. And behold the hosts that surround me. God has sent me and them to take you and bring you to the border of the garden northwards, to the shore of the clear sea, and bathe you and Eve in it, and raise you to your former gladness, that you return again into the garden. So, in other words, listen to what that says. Raise you to your former gladness, lift you up. Why? Because, well, they got casted down. Remember? That was the casting down. So if they get raised up again, they're already in a physical sort of a state that's in a unilateral plane. So right here, we're now getting to understand there's layers, there's subtle nuances here that we really have to be looking at, some of these layers of what this thing means, especially when it relates to the first man and the first woman at the beginning, all the creation, just the layers and the labels, and even how men have said that these things have went. We're now seeing some of these words that are helping us realize, okay, for them even to go, it wasn't physically going back into the garden that was going to be something that was going to raise them up. They had to be raised up before they went back into the garden, which means that it was always here anyway, or it was always here in the heart, or in the soul, or in the spirit, or you understand? It's in that part anyway. But let's keep going. And Adam spread his hands unto the Most High God, begging him to make him understand what they are. Okay, I already read that. Okay, Satan is trying to trick them, and he's like, look, you're trying to get y'all back to the garden. These words sank into the hearts of Adam and Eve. So now that was a pretty cunning trick and an angle, because this being knew that they wanted to get back to their higher grace, their higher form where they originally were. These words really like hit them. And yet the Most High withheld his word from Adam and did not make him understand at once, but waited to see his strength. He was testing Adam and Eve, whether he would be overcome as Eve was when in the garden, or whether he would prevail. That's deep right there. Then Satan called to Adam and Eve and said, behold, we go to the sea of water. And they began to go. And Adam and Eve followed them at some little distance. But then they came to the mountain to the north of the garden, a very high mountain, without any steps to the top of it. The devil drew near to Adam and Eve and made them go up to the top in reality and not in a vision. So boom, this right here is confirming this is in a heightened spiritual sort of a state that this is happening. And these beings would have been way more susceptible to that because they are the first beings. Anything that would have happened to them is very different from what you and I is going to understand about our lives if we wake up every day and we go about the hustle and bustle of what other men have tried to make things be about. So they're going to have a totally different experience, understanding. Is our job here to break these things down, decipher them, deal with it, decode it, and figure out what we got going on. And not let manipulative, weird, deceitful men try to keep us away from the truths that these words and the vibration of these words definitely want to communicate to us, or that the spirit of the Most High wants to communicate to us through his word, if you understand what I've just said right there. So right here is saying, not in a vision. In reality, he pushed them up to the top of that mountain. So now we're seeing that even in a spiritual state, this Lucifer, this being, this devil, this Satan, this darkened one has a little bit of pull and push and influence, is able to influence the molecules and the energy and the power. Now, that's just very interesting. That seals the loop of the vision right there. So this tells you right here, even still, he's appearing to them in their mind. Even, what does it say? Came upon a cloud, intent on deceiving them. Cloud often, and I figured this out reading the books of Enoch, which we're going to get into at some point here on this vlog. I'm not sure when. It could be a year from now. It could be several months. It could be 2 months. It could be next week. I don't know what the Most High is going to do, but I know we're not going to be dealing with Enoch anytime soon, unless the Most High says, hey, man, when his name pops up, maybe the Most High might, because I think Enoch's name is definitely going to pop up as we're dealing with Noah. So we might be in the books of Enoch a little bit quicker than what I think, because if the Spirit says, hey, dip off and read the books of Enoch, to come back up to Noah and continue, that's what I'm going to do. Just like we did here with the books of Adam and Eve. But in the books of Enoch, when I read about, different things, that term cloud is definitely related to intelligence, high intelligence or mental, or like, and if it's related to intelligence, then it's going to be related to the brain or the mind. So when it says that he came appearance upon a cloud at the first, and in the beginning, it confirms as a vision that the first man and the first woman, or that Adam and Eve saw this. Then now we're seeing here, he had them go up to this high mountain, not in a vision, in reality. So it's making a clear-cut separation. It differentiates between the two. Then now we have to look at that, and we have to deal with it for what we just dealt with it as. You can't, like what I told you in the previous video, sometimes these things are going to be like very clear. They're going to reveal themselves. And then sometimes it's designed for you to understand, like, hey, you're probably dealing with a highly elaborate metaphor, or like a highly complex, sort of a parable, if you will, So very deep. Let's keep reading. Wishing as he did, this is Satan, wishing as he did to throw them down and kill them, and to wipe off their name from the earth, so that this earth should remain to him and his hosts alone. So he wanted the earth. Okay, he wanted the earth. Okay, so you know what, I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 29 really fast, and then we're going to end this video, and then the next video we'll go ahead and jump into chapter 30, maybe chapter 31. But let's continue on. Okay, but when the Most High God saw that Satan wished to kill Adam with his manifold devices, with his many tricks, okay, he saw that Adam was meek and without guile. God spake unto Satan in a loud voice and cursed him. So the Most High saw that Adam didn't have the mental and he didn't have the metal to deal with what this serpent, to deal with this energy, with this darkened one. Okay. So the Most High spoke aloud to Satan and cursed him. Then he and his hosts fled, and Adam and Eve remained standing on the top of the mountain, whence they saw below them the wide world high above which they were. But they saw none of the hosts which were by them. Okay? They wept, both Adam and Eve, before God, before the Most High God, and begged for forgiveness and begged for forgiveness of him. Then came the word of the Most High God to Adam and said unto him, know thou, and understand concerning this Satan. Know this, Adam, and understand this concerning this darkened one, that he seeks to deceive you and your seed after you. Okay. And Adam wept before the Most High God and begged and entreated him to give him something from the garden as a token to him wherein to be comforted. And the Most High looked upon Adam's thought and sent the angel Michael as far as the sea that reaches unto India, to take from thence the golden rods and bring them to Adam. Okay. So that's very interesting of itself, maybe unto the land in the east, because again, please understand, when these things are translated, that's why they would plug in a term like India, but there was no India back in the beginning. So you'd be like, oh man, see, that's why it's fake. No, that's when it got translated. Humans did things and wrote things. That's just like, for instance, when we deal with the name Yeshua or Jesus, if you will. The rule is, when you're dealing with history and you're dealing with these going back into historical works and works of antiquity, different things, we're not supposed to translate names and titles of names, meaning like places, names of places and proper names. You're supposed to keep them things what they are. You're not supposed to be changing the names and doing all that, translating the name into your language. No, because from that point on, you've automatically made something false, and you can literally make it be something that it's not, whatever you want it to be. Right? So we're not supposed to be doing that, but they do that. And that's how come certain things get flip-flopped and get switched. So let's keep going. Okay? So you have these rods, these golden rods that the angel, the higher one, brought to Adam. Now, let's look at this metaphorically. Higher being or higher essence, higher spirit, brings from the higher garden, the place that represents the highness of everything, brings golden rods. Golden. So that means they're going to be shining, bright, pure, pristine. Gold is the most productive conductor of electricity in the world. Gold is that deal. So Adam gets one of the highest forms of precious metals or of elements in existence from this higher being as a token, because it has asked the Most High Spirit to give them something from the garden as a token, so that they may be comforted, because they just want to be attached to it so much. That's always deep to me, man. This did God in his wisdom, in order that these golden rods, being with Adam in the cave, should shine forth with light in the nights around him, and puts an end to his fear of the darkness. So like what I just said, if we're dealing with this from a metaphorical state, then they just got some illumined energy, if you will. Some light. They just got an increase in light to help them be able to combat the darkness that they face. Are y'all following? You know, and you understand what I'm saying? And I'm not going to go real deep into this and be trying to deal with all these concepts and breaking it down, because the Most High really wants me getting through this stuff, because I really love these topics. I really love this information, man. I will come on here and take 4 verses and can talk for an hour just off them 4 verses and go, and the Spirit will lead me where to go, and it will be good. So I have to make sure to maintain a good steady pace here, and I don't want to make these too long, so I want to try and start cutting these videos down by about 10 or 15 minutes, which would make them about 20 to 30 minutes. And really, I want to get it down to about 15 minutes per each one, but then I don't want there to be too many videos, so I try to put multiple chapters into one video, so it's like you know, we're covering a little bit more information, and that every time you push play and you watch one through, you're getting more than just one chapter, and you got to keep listening, keep watching. So I don't know. We'll see. Let's just finish this chapter up, and then we're done. We're on the final verse. Okay. Then the angel Michael went down by the Most High's order, took golden rods as the Most High had commanded him, and brought them to the Most High God. And brought them to God. That's very interesting. Wow. Okay. So you saw what it says there. We're not going to go into chapter 30. I just was kind of reading ahead to see, like, hey, wait a minute. I thought he was going to give them to Adam and Eve, to Adam. Why did he take them to the Most High first? Like, why did it take it to the Most High? That's something even powerful in itself. If you really pay attention to it, you really look at it, and you really listen to, like, what I said. If it has something to do with the spiritual, when Michael takes the golden rods and brings them up to the Most High, what it's saying is that that's the Most High then now having that token that Adam asked for, that thing that Adam asked for. Now the Most High is going to give it to Adam. So, and in writing, it's allowing us to know the Most High can give and take away, and it went and got it. Hey, bring me those. All right, Adam, here you go. You understand now? I got it, so you got it, Adam. Y'all ain't following. Y'all following? You following? You mad? You bitter? You irritated? It's okay. Leave a comment if you feel some type of way. Leave a comment if you feel some type of way. Hit that subscription button, hit the notification bell, share this information with somebody. If it resonates with you, you think that it would resonate with them, share it with them. Y'all, I appreciate y'all for coming back, man. We are going to keep moving through these books of Adam and Eve. Then we're going to go ahead and get back up into the books of Genesis, jump back into the story of Noah, into the life of Noah, once we finish the books of Adam and Eve, y'all. Y'all be blessed, man. Peace.